Hello and welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and we've got the Clone Wars movie today. This is the first animated sort of expanded universe thing from George Lucas himself, along with Dave Filoni, who directed the film, taking place between episodes 2 and 3, but released in 2007, 2 years after Revenge of the Sith. So this is sort of you get to visit the era between the two films when Anakin was pretty much fully a good guy, before he without all the complications of temptation to the dark side. He's in full hero mode in this sense. This movie is important because it has a number of firsts in it, including everybody knows the introduction of Ahsoka Tano, his own Padawan learner, who went from being kind of an obnoxious little addition to the series to one of the most beloved characters in all of Star Wars fandom. I have to admit, when I first saw this film, which is it's not an accurate description as to what this really is. It's really 3 episodes stitched together, and you can kind of see where they're stitched together, because they have their own sort of rhythm. And when I first saw it in the theaters, I really wasn't into it as much. The animation itself was new to the style anyway, was new, and it really didn't click with me as much. Everybody was big-eyed and square, and I don't know, just the look of Obi-Wan's beard. It was really kind of, I don't know, it just didn't translate well for me. But when the series came along, it also had that same feel, but we knew there'd be more to it. And I think during that time, I really got to love it, because just every season got better and better. So for a while, this was kind of you gotta watch it just because it's Ahsoka, her first appearance, and just get through it so you can enjoy the rest of the Clone Wars. But now that I'm watching it again for the first time, honestly, in almost 11 years, I don't think I watched it since the first time. It's actually better than I thought, better than I remembered. Ahsoka is not as obnoxious. She works well with Anakin because they have a little contentious relationship. He doesn't want an apprentice, but yet she's sort of forced on him, and they're always sniping at each other, and they give each other little nicknames, Skyguy and Snips, which I don't know if it lasts the entire series. I think they refer to it in the final episode, but beyond that, she's very much like him in a sense, but with a little bit more optimism. She hasn't gone through half the stuff that Anakin's gone through in his life, which he avoids talking about when she brings up his past on that trip to Tatooine, which brings us to the story. The first of the 3 stories, it just involves them being introduced to each other in the middle of a battle, and it's actually kind of pretty spectacular because it really shows the clones in action. It reminds me of a lot of the cooler battle scenes with the clone troopers and the Trade Federation droids. Just lots of blasts going around, along with lightsabers, just cutting down everything as they're flipping around. So it's a lot more exaggerated. Again, this is meant to appeal to kids more than adults. So it's more super heroic and over the top with their abilities than you would normally see in the live action films. Then the second one, but even though it's established, the quest is kind of established in the first part, it really doesn't get moving until they're sent to rescue Jabba's son, which is just a little tiny slug of a creature. He's a baby. He's a baby Jabba. If we didn't already know that Jabba was a Hutt, he'd be the baby Yoda of that era, although not as cute. They end up calling him Stinky for most of the rest of the movie, but they're given the opportunity to make a deal with the Hutt clan, and if they can rescue his son, then they have a chance of, making the deals that will get them free movement through his areas of the galaxy. Yeah, and of course it's all a setup for the most part. Dooku's involved, Count Dooku, and Asajj Ventress. By the way, this is the first time we've seen her in a kind of 3D animation style. She premiered in the original Gennady Tartakovsky, however you say his name, in animation, Clone Wars animation series, but they really bring her out in this one, where she's just slinky as hell, and she goes up against Obi-Wan in a pretty epic battle. There's also a battle between Anakin and Dooku, voiced by Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee comes back, at least for the movie. I don't think he really did anything else for the Clone Wars series, but if he did, don't quote me on that. We also, speaking of other voices, we have voices. Samuel L. Jackson comes back and plays Mace Windu, and we got Tom Kane as Yoda. We got James doing Obi-Wan and a number of other voices. So it's there's no Ewan McGregor or Hayden Christensen as Obi-Wan and Anakin, but the voices, the guys who do the voices for the characters, almost in some cases people figure at least Anakin's part does a better job than Hayden in being Anakin. So that's some people's opinion. Maybe it's mine, I don't know. But he makes for a great Anakin, and the battles, it turns out to be a pretty complex, pretty fun adventure. Lots of great big space battles, ships flying everywhere, lightsabers. It's all the things you expect from a Star Wars movie. I just originally didn't like it because of the introduction of a kid character. The trope when you have a movie or a TV series, and you think you've run out of things for the characters to do. You throw in a kid, and somehow everybody has to react to their antics. It's usually a point of desperation in most TV comedies when they've run out of ideas. In this case, yeah, that's easy to assume that when they introduced Ahsoka, but it turns out she's really good. If she doesn't grow on you immediately, she does eventually, obviously, in the series. So I say give this a look. Yeah, this is, if you're going to ever watch the Clone Wars series, you have to start with this. And it's actually a great one of the, honestly, it's the best part of the prequel era, the Clone Wars series especially. It's the best part. So take your time, check it out. It's on Disney Plus, obviously. So we're going to check out tomorrow's, and this is the last one of the year. So let's see what we get for the 31st. 279. Let's see what that is. 279. 279. Yes. Oh, I don't know what this is. It's a film, though, apparently. Maybe it's a short film. Maybe it'll let me go out, on New Year's Eve. Or I'll get it done early. Here we go. Let's see. 279 is Johnny Tsunami. Don't know what that is. Johnny Tsunami. So I'm going to check to make sure that is it's actually on here. Like we had problems yesterday or the day before. If that turns out it's not on Disney Plus like they promised it would be, I'll be back here in a second. So unless that happens, I'll see you tomorrow with Johnny Tsunami, the last one of 2019. See you then.